Okay, so we'll just quickly first revise with whatever we had studied yesterday. Okay, and I'll just share the screen. Yes, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
We had started with the structure of chromosome. Here, so here we are mainly talking about the human chromosome, and so yeah, so chromosome actually means a colored body, and the name itself suggests that it is chroma means color and some means body here. And yes, we are all deployed in nature. So the cells in the human body, the somatic cells, are diploid, that is 2n, where n refers to the number of chromosome, and the gametic cells, that is the germ cells. In case of humans, it is the sperms as well as the ova. Okay, so these gametic cells are haploid in nature. Clear? Coming to the chromosome types, so chromosomes broadly are actually classified as your autosomes and your sex chromosomes. Talking about the autosomes, okay, there are 22 pairs of autosomes. Clear? That is from chromosome number 1 to chromosome number 22. They are your autosomes, and they code for characteristics other than the sex characteristics, other than the genes present on the sex chromosome. The other set, the remaining set of your chromosome, is your sex chromosome. Clear? And it will vary, and that determines the sex of the individual, whether it would be a male or whether it would be a female. Clear? So, in case of males, in humans, we have X and Y. Okay, so the karyotype of a male would be XY, while that of a female would be XX. So, females in human is homogametic in nature, and the males, okay, in humans are heterogametic in nature. In contrast to the birds, if you look at the sex determination in birds, the females are heterogametic with Z and W as the gametes, and the male is homogametic in nature with ZZ gametes. Clear, everyone, till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Taking a look at the features of the eukaryotic chromosome, the chromosome is best visible in its metaphase state. Okay, the genes on the chromosome will appear in a linear fashion. The chromosomes would vary with respect to the shape, size, and the number. Clear? And it contains, or it is composed of DNA, RNA, and proteins. The chromosomes have the property of self replicating. They are capable of self replication, as well as they are capable and potential enough to create spontaneous mutations as well during the process of replication. Coming to the size of the chromosome, if we take a look into the chromosome size, plants के जो chromosomes रहते हैं, they are much larger in size as compared to the chromosomes of the animals. They are comparatively smaller in size. Clear? Um, and if at all you want to measure the size of the chromosome, it should be measured in its metaphase stage. Coming to the chromosome number, okay, in case of humans we are having 23 pairs, or you can even say that there are 46 chromosomes. Clear? um, Whereas in case of yeah, so there are 46 chromosomes, and you can say it as 23 pairs. In case of some plants, they are triploid in nature, they are even tetraploid in nature, so that n could vary. Clear? So it could be even 3n, it could be 4n, depends. And one more thing, if at all there is any kind of chromosomal abnormality, see, many individuals, if at all there is chromosomal abnormality, the n factor could change even in case of humans. For example, अगर कोई extra chromosome आ गया तो there would be addition to this n, जहाँ पे ये N23 होता है, it could be even 24 in case of a chromosomal abnormality. Also, a chromosome can even be missed. Clear? That means it could be lost, or it could not come uh, um, into the daughter cell at the time of the gamete formation. ठीक है? So ऐसे cases में there could even be a missing chromosome, so n would reduce, it could be even 22. Clear? So depending upon what is the situation, the n changes. Clear? uh, what are homologous chromosomes? Homologous chromosomes are the chromosomes which are homologue in nature, which are similar in nature. So one homologue will come from the mother, the other homologue comes from the father. They come together to form a pair. Remember, homologous chromosomes are similar, they are not identical. So जो भी आपके chromatids रहेंगे of the chromatids of the homologous chromosomes are considered as non-sister chromatids. Why? Because they are not identical. Clear? So this is the list of few of the species with respect to the chromosome number. Coming to the chromosome structure, so the chromosome structure basically depends upon at what position is your so first, before talking about the centromere, um, this is a typical structure or morphology of the chromosome. So depending upon where the centromere is placed, okay, that divides the chromosome into minimum two parts. Okay, so it is the short arm, or it divides the chromosome into sections, or you can call it as arms. Clear? Your short arm is called as the P arm, and the long arm is called as the Q arm. The ends of the chromosomes are called as telomeres. Okay, apart from these main things, okay, you can have some chromosomes can have secondary constrictions. Okay, so there could be some additional constriction apart from the primary constriction, and that gives rise to what you call it as satellites. Okay, the chromosomes that bear such satellite regions are called as satellite chromosomes. Remember, they are called as satellite chromosomes, and they are nothing but they are like, हम लोग normally DNA या molecular biology पढ़ते समय हम marker DNA के बारे में बात करते हैं. So satellite chromosomes are nothing but they act like marker chromosomes. Clear? So in case of some typical abnormalities, yeah, ऐसे situations में these satellite chromosomes are present. Okay, so one can even identify a particular abnormality with respect to the presence or absence of such satellite chromosomes. Now, both the chromatids of a particular chromosome are called as sister chromatids. If I speak only with respect to the left hand section of this entire chromosome, this is considered to be the non replicated chromatid. When this particular chromatid will replicate during the cell division, during that S phase of the interphase, it gives rise to this second section or the second part of the sister chromatid. So this is a duplicated, you can say a duplicated chromosome or a duplicated chromatid. Clear? So I already talked about the chromatid. Telomeres are nothing but the end sections of the chromosome. Primary constrictions are nothing but they are called as centromeres. Centromeres के ऊपर हमेशा there are small protein structures called as the kinetochores. और kinetochores का function क्या होता है? It helps the chromosome to attach to the spindle fibers at the time of cell division, during the time of जब mitosis होता है, and when the asterisis come, okay, जो spindle fibers आते हैं, the hold of that chromosome to the spindle fibers is through these kinetochores. Clear? So chromosomes attach to these spindle fibers through kinetochores, and they are present on the centromeres. And centromere is responsible for division or sectioning the chromosome into a short arm called as the P arm and the long arm as the Q arm. Secondary constrictions I already talked about. They give rise to satellites. Coming to the chromosome shape, I hope everything is clear till here, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt, anything, any difficulty? I hope it is easy. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So coming to the chromosome shape. Okay, now each chromosome, as I said, it has two arms. The shorter arm is called as the P arm and the longer arm is called as the Q arm. The chromosome shape is usually observed at the anaphase. अगर आपको chromosome shape पढ़ना है, okay, or if you want to study the shape of a particular chromosome, it is usually observed at the anaphase stage. Okay, अगर size पढ़नी है, it is usually done at the metaphase stage. So why anaphase stage? क्योंकि at that particular anaphase stage में आपके chromosome एक typical shape पकड़ेंगे. Why? Because the microtubules would hold the chromosomes at their primary constriction. So that would determine a typical characteristic shape to the chromosome. So this particular the constriction on that particular chromosome could be at different positions. So the centromeres could be at different positions. It could be terminal, it could be subterminal, it could be in the middle position. Depending upon the position or the constriction of that primary constriction, where it is placed, that gives rise to the shape to the chromosome. We'll see how it does. Okay, so first we'll talk about the centromere position. So chromosomes are actually classified can be classified. So one of the way to actually classify the chromosome is the centromere position. The other would be the size and the length of the chromosome. So here we will be talking about the centromere position. So what happens if the centromere is placed at near towards one end? Actually, it is said to be acrocentric. If it is completely towards the terminal end, that is, if it is completely towards the end, it is telocentric. If it is close to one end, मतलब बीच में भी नहीं है, and somewhere towards or एकदम towards the end भी नहीं, somewhere near about in the middle but not in the middle, it is called as submetacentric. If it is if it is in the middle, it is metacentric. So the positioning of the centromere would give rise to two arms to each chromosome, and the short arm is the P arm and longer arm is the Q arm. So P is the term is given P because it is called as the petite, meaning short or small, and the Q is uska kuch meaning nahi hai, but simply since it is following P, the name is given to Q to the other arm. So if I take a look at this particular diagram, okay, so this is considered to be an unreplicated chromosome Q. So this is one chromosome, this is another chromosome. Since there is only one chromatid to each of this chromosome, it is an unreplicated chromosome. So the short arm is the P arm, this is the centromere, this long arm is the Q arm. Okay, so this is a homologous pair. So consider chromosome 1. Chromosome 1, it is the unreplicated chromosome number 1 with this is the homologous pair. Now, when this particular chromatid replicates, it will take this particular shape. Okay, the X shape or the butterfly shape. So this is the replicated part. So during the anaphase, during the interphase synthesis of the DNA or duplication of the DNA would take place, and the sister chromatid would be duplicated. This particular chromatid would be duplicated, and these two chromatids are called as sister chromatids. Clear? If I consider this chromatid and if I consider this chromatid, they are considered to be non-sister chromatids. Okay, and so they are the non-sister chromatids. This is the duplicated chromosome, and this particular condition where two chromosome, I mean one duplicated part of the chromosome is present, it is called as the dyad. Okay, it is the dyad stage of the chromosome. जब नॉर्मली मायोसिस में जब हम देखते हैं जब टू क्रोमोसोम्स दे पेयर टुगेदर, ओके, that is a tetrad state. I hope you people have studied that. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So coming to the metacentric chromosome, the chromosome is the centromere is located at the center of the chromosome. That is, the centromere is present in the middle. So the centromere is located approximately midway between each end, and thereby the two arms are more or less equal in length. So if you take a look at this here, the centromere is present at the middle, and if you take a look at the two arms are more or less same in or equal in length. Metacentric chromosomes, okay, they are called as metacentric, and the metacentric chromosomes will give rise to a V shape during the anaphase. So when imagine the anaphase state, when the chromosomes are pulled towards the end, okay, it takes this kind of a V shape. Okay, so metacentric chromosomes will take a V shape. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming to the submetacentric chromosome. What is submetacentric? Now here the centromere is located on one end of the central point. It is not exactly in the middle, nor it is exactly towards the end. It is somewhere located on one side of the central point, towards one side. So either it could be towards the right side of the central point, or it could be towards the left side of the central point. So such position of the centromere is called as submetacentric in nature, and the chromosome is called as submetacentric chromosome. A submetacentric chromosome can take a shape of J or L in during the anaphase stage. So when it is pulled towards the pole, it either takes a J shape or an L shape. So such chromosomes are so yeah, the submetacentric chromosomes would give rise to a short arm called as the p arm and a long arm called as the q arm. मेटासेंट्रिक क्रोमोसोम्स में ऐसा कुछ होगा नहीं, पी आर्म क्यू आर्म ऐसा नहीं होगा, बिकॉज बोथ ऑफ द आर्म्स आर मोर और लेस इक्वल इन लेंथ. क्लियर एवरीवन? The next chromosome is your next chromosome type is your acrocentric chromosome. What is acrocentric? So the centromere located close to one end of the chromosome, but not exactly at the end. Remember everyone, it is the centromere is located close to one end, and it is more terminally placed and forms very unequal arm length. Okay, so it is terminally, almost terminally placed, but not exactly at the terminal. So ऐसे इस तरीके से वो पोजीशन होता है that it still gives rise to two arms. Okay, so such chromosomes are called as acrocentric chromosomes, and the P arm is so short that it is very hard to observe under the microscope, but still it is present. Remember that. And acrocentric chromosomes may be rod shaped during anaphase. So just imagine the P arm is so short that when it is pulled during the anaphase stage, okay, it the chromosome अगर एक normal eye से अगर आपको view करना है, okay, even through a normal resolution microscope, it would simply appear in the form of a rod shape. Okay, वो जो P arm रहता है वो इतना short रहता है that it is very difficult or hard to observe. A geneticist who is very well versed in identifying the chromosome, only they would be, it requires skills to identify these chromosomes. And पीपल जो बहुत फ्रीक्वेंटली स्कैनिंग स्क्रीनिंग करते हैं स्लाइड्स का क्रोमोसोम्स के, so they it becomes easier for them to identify that it is an acrocentric chromosome. Clear? The next type of chromosome is your telocentric chromosome, and telocentric chromosomes are the ones where the centromere is located terminally, completely towards one end of the chromosome, or towards the terminal part, and it does not give rise to two arms. So there is only one arm here in this case, and they also give a rod shaped appearance during the anaphase. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, according to the number of centromere, now here there could be one centromere, there could be two, there could be many. Okay, so depending upon the number of centromere, the eukaryotic chromosome can be acentric, that is, chromosome without any centromere. Now, this also can be considered as a chromosomal abnormality, क्योंकि अगर किसी क्रोमोसोम के पास सेंट्रोमियर प्रेजेंट ही नहीं है, okay, that particular chromosome will not be able to attach during the cell division process to the microtubules. Okay, and if it is not attached, it will not be coming in the daughter cell. Okay, so during the replication phase, centromere also gets formed during the initial phases of mitosis. We all have studied that. ठीक है, तो अगर वो सेंट्रोमियर प्रोड्यूस हुआ ही नहीं, okay, then that particular chromosome will be lost and it would not come in the daughter cell. So that also could give rise to one in a form of chromosomal abnormality. When the centromere is one, okay, it is called as monocentric. When there are two centromeres, it is dicentric. Okay, and when there are more than two centromeres, it is polycentric. Now, how does the large size of the DNA be packaged into a small size chromosome? How does this take place? So now we will be majorly talking about the chromosomal packaging, or you can call it as the DNA packaging into a chromosome and finally into the nucleus. So you might have studied this earlier as well, so we can have a quick revision on this. So there are different levels. So remember when uh, we all have हमने we all have learned the theories, and all have learned that well, the extended DNA is so long that it can you can when it gets unwound, it can even wind the earth, or the it is so large, it is so huge DNA. Clear? So actually what this DNA, if just imagine when this such long DNA, okay, if it has to go within the cell, it has to be packaged to a huge extent. Okay, so uh, Yeah, so in the first level of compaction, what happens is the short stretch of the double stranded DNA or the double stranded helix will wrap around a core of eight histone molecules. So, that eight histone molecules you might have studied, they are called as octamers. Yes, so the
Yes, ma'am.
double helix will wound get wound around this eight histone proteins, okay, at regular intervals along the length of the chromosome. So the first level of compaction क्या होता है, just consider eight globular molecules, उसके around आपका पूरा एक thread like structure आपका wind होने लगता है. Okay, so that is the first level of compaction, and the DNA histone complex can be called as a chromatin. Slowly, these eight, as and when the winding takes place, okay, these histone and DNA, the DNA histone complexes get stacked one above the other, forming a bead-like appearance, and that bead-like appearance is called as a nucleosome. That also you might have studied earlier. So it forms a nucleosome, and the DNA which connects the nucleosome complexes, okay, throughout the stretch is called as the linker DNA. Now this is during still the first level of compaction. Now the DNA molecule in the form in this particular form is 7 times shorter than the double helix without the histones. Imagine the DNA helix without the histone, and imagine the DNA helix along with the histone. So that DNA helix along with the histone proteins is 7 times shorter than the unwound DNA, and the beads are about 10 nanometer in diameter. Okay, in contrast with the 2 nanometer diameter of the DNA double helix. So it gets compacted to a certain extent here till this stage. The next level of compaction occurs as further the nucleosomes and the linker DNA between them are also coiled into a 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. So जो भी आपका linker DNA है and the nucleosome है, that further gets compacted more, okay, to form a 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. The coiling further, this particular coiling would further shorten the chromosome so that it is now 50 times shorter than the extended form. And in the third level of packing, a variety of fibrous proteins, you can say non-histone proteins, will come into picture, and then they will further allow the compaction of the chromatin. If at all, agar aap log, I don't know if you all have studied about protamines and all. So the sperm DNA which is there, okay, getting compacted, it is so compacted ki apart from the histone proteins, it also has these non-histone proteins called as the protamines, which further allow the condensation of the sperm DNA. ठीक है, सो ऐसे ही अदर सेल्स में अलग other forms of non-histone proteins are also present, which further allow the compaction of that DNA. So, taking a look at this, whatever I theoretically told you, okay, so this is a double helix structure. Taking a zoom, okay, so this is my unwound DNA or the double helix DNA. When this particular DNA starts getting, wound around the histone molecules, it takes this particular form. So this is the DNA which is wrapped around histone molecule. So ऐसे जब 8 histone molecules के around आपका DNA wrap होने लगता है, it gives rise to a bead-like appearance. Okay, imagine a chain, okay, with beads. किस फॉर्म में वो प्रेजेंट रहता है, उसी फॉर्म में इस तरीके से कुछ आपका condensed DNA दिखता है, taking a bead-like appearance. So this one thing is your nucleosome. So 8 histone molecules around which your DNA is wrapped is your uh, uh, nucleosome complex. Okay, and the region of the DNA between these two nucleosome complexes is called as my linker DNA. Okay, so further in the next level of compaction आपका linker DNA जो है और and your nucleosome complexes, they further get condensed, okay, into a 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. Okay, so जो भी आपके linker DNA hai, they also get compacted, condensed further, okay, around the nucleosome complexes to allow further condensation. And then finally आपके non-histone molecules आते हैं, okay, to allow the final condensation of the DNA to give rise to a chromosome. Clear, everyone? So this chromosome is now packaged into the cell, and whenever we visualize it, we see our DNA in this particular form. Now remember, not always your DNA is present in this form. Okay, it is only during the metaphase that you see your DNA in the form of the chromosome shape. Clear? रेस्ट ऑफ द फेज में आपके इंटरफेस हो, उसमें वो थ्रेड लाइक अपीयरेंस रहता है, एंड जैसे जैसे आपका सेल डिवीजन प्रोसीड करता है, आपके प्रोटीन्स बनते हैं सेल्स में एंड कॉम्पैक्शन होता है, एंड एट द मेटाफेज स्टेट इट विल टेक अ शेप ऑफ अ क्रोमोसोम लाइक दिस. क्लियर एवरीवन?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Any doubt,
Yes.
anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we this is the video. I have video link I have posted here, okay, in this slide, which will demonstrate you how the packaging takes place. And here are additional YouTube videos, okay, which will give more insight into chromosome structure and shape. Clear? So since we are having time, we will look into these videos. Yes, anyone having any doubt before that? Before seeing the videos, if anyone is having any doubt, please clarify it.
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So shall I stop sharing the screen and I'll share it again for videos? So first we'll see how the packaging is taking place.